YouTube, what's up? This is Ben from Should I Get It Reviews, and today I'm in the 2025 Nissan Z Nismo with Zach. Thank you for filming, thank you for riding along. Zach has been living with this car for 5 days now?
About 5 days.
And we want to talk to you about three main points. One, the ride quality. Two, the performance. And three, the daily usability. And I want to compare it to living with a BMW M2, a Toyota Supra, and even a Miata, because I don't think this is a great only car to have. Let's start there with the daily ability. Zach, what are your thoughts on the trunk space?
The trunk space in the Z Nismo is interesting. It's very wide, it's very long, but it's not very tall.
It's extremely shallow. I have a Stanley water bottle that I left in the trunk with the handle up. I closed the trunk and it could not close because it was so shallow. It made me realize that if you have a carry-on that's stuffed and you're trying to drop someone off at the airport, it legitimately will probably not fit. Maybe you could fit one if you bring it closer to here, but if you try to have two carry-ons, I don't think that they would actually fit. The second thing in terms of the daily ability, these seats, to get into them, the sills are pretty thick. So like when you open the door, there's a gap between the outside of the car and where you actually sit down. And the seats are only adjustable, kind of. And this seat, everything is manual, which is fine. But because it's the Nismo package, you have two blank buttons right here because there's no heated seats, which I don't really understand. I'm gonna nitpick a little bit. On the exterior, Zach pointed this out to me, when you try to unlock the door, it doesn't automatically unlock. You have to hit this button on the door panel, but you have to hit that and then pull the door. They could have just made it a touch sensor like most cars, so that's kind of annoying to me. Thankfully, the front end is higher than most sports cars, so going over speed bumps and steep driveways, you don't have to worry about so much. The brakes are really, really good, but everything just slides around in the hatch. There's not a good way to secure your cargo, and so you hear a lot of noise if you have bags in the back. And I do. If you're going on a road trip or if you're going out to film a car like we are today, you have to bring things with you, and you just hear it sliding around all the time. Is it a great daily? No, definitely not. It is probably a 2 out of 5, I would say.
I'd agree.
In terms of daily practicality. The seats can get uncomfortable. It's very, very stiff in terms of the suspension. We're feeling every bump and hole in the road, without a doubt. And it'll get to you. If you drive this car long enough, which we've been in it for about 45 minutes now, your back will probably start hurting. If you're actually gonna track the car, I think the seats will hold you very, very well. And in the canyons, they do a good job. But it's just a rough ride. So if you have a girlfriend or wife who doesn't love stiff cars, then good luck. Okay, now the power plant. You may have noticed that I've only been driving in manual mode and I'm shifting with the paddles on this 9-speed auto. My biggest complaint is that the Nismo does not come with a 6-speed manual, whereas you can get the base model with a 6-speed. The brakes feel really good. The transmission, when you're on it, is actually fine when you're in manual mode and you want to manually shift. You can only shift with the paddles, you can't use the center, which is fine for me. What's interesting to me is the fully automatic mode in the transmission, like the normal mode, even in Sport Plus, which is the most sporty, throttle responsive mode. It is really hard to understand what this transmission is going to do, and there is quite a bit of turbo lag, so it makes it hard to control the car, which is why I keep driving it manual. I'm not a huge fan of this transmission. Zach, you've driven the car way more than I have. What are your thoughts on the transmission?
Yeah, the transmission is really the weak point of this car. 9 speeds is too many speeds, in my opinion. You'll find you'll be accelerating, you'll look down, and you'll be in 5th gear at 30 miles an hour. It just doesn't know where it wants to be at any time. It's always switching gears, it's always changing, and it's never changing to where you want it to be.
Now, the last thing I want to talk about with this car is the entertainment system, the infotainment. So right now I have the center of the gauge cluster pretty empty. If I scroll here, I can see where we are, I can see what music is playing. It becomes extremely busy. It is too much going on for me. I can also hit this menu button, and then I can change the personal display, and I can change this to enhanced or sport. I'm gonna go to enhanced, click that. Okay, now it's like super insane looking, very futuristic, very interesting. And then I'll show you guys also what sport looks like. you'll see that 1,000 RPM is all the way down here, and 3,000 is at the bottom. It's an interesting gauge cluster. It looks cool. It looks very JDM, I would say, very Dragon Ball Z, honestly, with that Z in the middle there. So that's the gauge cluster. Ton going on. All right, if you have any questions, leave them in a comment down below. Zach, anything you want to add?
I don't know. It's a good car, but I don't know if I'd pay $70,000 for it.
Yeah, I think used, if you could score one of these for like 40, 50 grand, pretty awesome. If you could get the base for like 30 grand someday, this would be a really good car, especially with a 6-speed. I think with the 6-speed, this car would be probably almost everything that I'd want out of like a weekend Canyon Carver.